Greetings, I'm Barrent and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to continue our playthrough of Kingdom Death Monster. We're going to take on a level 2 Butcher. That's right, we're going to see if we can take him down. Of course, for our Butcher we have brought a couple brand new survivors to see if they can become lanterns for him. Hopefully not, hopefully we're able to take him down. There's only a couple things left to do. I've gone ahead and set everything up. This board actually just has a bunch of pillars on it. This one right here is actually a toppled pillar. It had to be 5 spaces away from the monster. So I've set it up back there because what this toppled pillar does is it will obstacle blocks survivors and monsters' field of view, interrupts ranged weapon attacks and monster targeting. Now that's just have to do with view. And a lot of the times this Butcher does not target by field of view, so this isn't really going to help me that much. Survivors can't move through spaces occupied by the terrain, but of course I can jump over this thing, which I don't really feel like jumping over it. I just feel like running up and hitting this guy, because after all, this is the Butcher. There's going to be really no tricks. It's just who can do as much damage as possible first. Of course, the Butcher has some tricks up his sleeve. Now, the last time we fought him, he had Frenzied Berserker. This time, he had Berserker. This time he is a Frenzied Berserker. He's going to be drawing +2 AI cards every monster turn. That means he's going to be drawing three cards. Oh my gosh. Of course, he still has fast target, which we saw in the last one, which means that at the beginning of each monster's turn, he's going to reshuffle the Butcher's hit location deck. We're going to keep on shuffling this thing. And of course, the last thing we've got is our dreaded trophies. Our dreaded trophies right here, I think this he had as well. And when a survivor dies, place their miniature on this card. The monster gains the following bonuses for each miniature on the dreaded trophies. So as he kills us, he becomes more powerful, not fun. And of course, every one of our characters is going to be taking Infectious Lunacy. This card, it says, when you suffer brain damage, gain lunacy tokens equal to the damage suffered. When you have 3 lunacy tokens, remove them all and suffer the frenzy brain trauma. At that time, we're going to gain a +1 speed and +1, strength token. Speed and strength token. On top of that, we can no longer use survival. So at that point, it's just going to be who can bash who the most. Of course, it would help if you had like some, I believe, slow weapons and things like that. They're not going to play into effect anymore. You can actually gain the benefits of those weapons. But a lot of times it's not going to help us too much. It's obviously going to help him a lot more because we can't use any of our survival. So you're going to see me using a lot of survival at the beginning, I'm sure. So let's see if we can take this Butcher down. And if you're excited to see if I can, then I need you to meet me at the table. Now there is one more thing I have to do to set this up. We're going to go ahead and draw our cards for our Butcher. And these are all our basic cards. We're going to go ahead and shuffle these up, give them a good old truffle shuffle here. And we're going to draw a total of 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, leaving him with only 1. Wow. Well, I guess if we look at the card, the Butcher starts with 10 basic and 5 advanced, and he actually only has 11 basic and total cards because that's how much you take at the end, and 10 advanced cards. So I'm guessing there's 10 of these, and I get to take 5 of them. So we're going to go ahead and put them right down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. I'm going to put these back in the box, and then we're going to go ahead and shuffle up our AI deck that I've made an absolute mess out of, but that's okay. We're going to shuffle this up and put it down. So we have our deck all ready to go. We're going to go ahead and put our card back. Of course, on top of those things I read you, he also does start with a +1 speed and +1 damage token, which I have placed right over here, and hopefully I forget about them. No, I'm kidding. I won't forget about them, but I wish I could. All right, it's time to see what we can do to him. We get to go first. That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and dash right off the bat with Tassel off. 1, 2, 3 to right here. I have no 4 right here. nope, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's perfect. He's just right where I need him. He is going to go ahead and move his, survival down to 8. Now, of course, he does get to roll, and on a 6+, he gets to regain that survival because of his full rawhide gear set. So let's see if he gets it back. He got it back. So I'm going to go back up to 9 survival. That's awesome. Now he's going to go ahead and use his claw head arrow. Let's see if we can hit with this thing. If you hit, the monster gains a -1 evasion token. I can use this once per showdown. So that's the arrow that he's holding right here. So we're going to go ahead and fire off our arrow. Let's take it out of there. We're going to fire this off and see what happens. So our clawhead arrow does have a 1 speed and it only needs a 6+. Come on, let's hit with this thing. We got a 9. So we did hit. Let's see what we hit. We hit the Furious Breastplate, +2 toughness to wound this location. All right, we'll see if we can wound it. I actually get 6 strength with this, and Tasselhoff himself has actually 2 more strength, so we have 8 strength. Let's see how we do. Roll my die. I got a 1. Okay, so this did not wound him, but our clawhead arrow still activates. It says if you hit, it doesn't say wound, the monster gains -1 evasion token per showdown. So we were able to get at least 1 evasion, a -1 evasion on this guy. So I'll put our -1 evasion token down with our other tokens, and we have used our clawhead arrow. It is done for the game. I'm going to put that to the side. Now we're going to continue on with our other survivors. He, of course, still has a move action, if any, also can surge if he wishes to. But we're going to go ahead and use some of our other guys. We're going to have her go ahead and run up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She gets +1 speed thanks to her White Lion boots. They are both connected, so she gets +1 movement, meaning she's able to run up there and actually hit him with her cat fang knife. This knife has been awesome. It's going to go ahead and attack with 3 attacks and needing a 6+. Sarah gets to use her cat fang knife, and she also has her White Lion armor, meaning she has a total of 4 speed with her knife. So let's see how she does. She only needs a 5+ because our person has taken a -1 evasion token. So we hit 3 times. Let's see what 3 cards we have hit. We have gone ahead and hit the Furious Shoulder Reflex. The Butcher spins wildly, smashing everything around it. All survivors in the zone of death suffer bash and knockback 5. Oh, that's terrible. All right, let's see what the next one is. Reflex. The Butcher lashes out wildly, clearing a path for itself. All survivors adjacent to the Butcher suffer bash. Full move forward towards the furthest survivor. Oh, that's yucky too. And the Butcher unleashes a deep guttural roar. Unless the attacker is deaf, which she's not, or has 3+ courage, they suffer brain damage equal to the monster level and are knocked out. All 3 of these are terrible. I think we're just going to go with this one. This is going to be the plan right here. We're going to hit this, and then I'm just going to go ahead and get knocked back and bash. That's the deal. Let's see how we do. I'm going to roll it up. We got a 5. Now, our Butcher at level 2 has a, 12 toughness. So we're going to have to see if we can get through this 12. We have gotten 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with our monster necklace here. 11, and then we have +1 strength, so that's 12. We did wound the Butcher, but we have to suffer the repercussions of that card. So we're going to take a card off the top of the stack and add it to the wounds. That's 1 down. How many more do we have? Let's take a look. We have, 15? 14 left to go. All right, let's see if we can do this. So our card is going to make us suffer, knockback 5 and bash. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get bash knocked on the ground. But that's okay. Tasselhoff is going to roll his dice. He got a 2. He does not get to keep his, survival. He's going to go to 8 to get her to stand back up. And guess what? She's not done yet. She's going to dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now she's going to surge to go ahead and attack that Butcher again. So that means her survival is going to drop down to 7. So we don't have, like I said, I'm just going to spend survival like it's water. Let's see how much we can do to him before he gets us. So again, we're going to use that cat fang necklace. We're going to roll 4 dice, and we're going to see how many we hit. We hit with 2. These 2 did not hit. We're going to go ahead and grab our next 2 hit location cards and see what we have found. We have found the Armored Pig Shoulder, and we've also found the Furious Vambraces. It says failure. The Butcher lashes out at the attacker's face, striking with the back of his hand. Perform a basic action. Target the attacker. This attack gains before damage Headhunter. This attack always hits the head location. Oh, that's terrible. All right, Then we got the Armored Pig Shoulder, super dense. If the attacker attempts to hit this location with a frail weapon, it is destroyed. Archive the weapon. At the end of the attack, after all hit locations have been discarded. Okay, not going to matter. I'm going to go for that one first because this is not a this is not a frail weapon. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it first. We're going to go ahead and see if we damage this guy. I need a big number. I got a 9. That's perfect. Now, sadly, I don't think she has any luck, but that's okay. That's still 1 wound. Now we're going to go on to this one. Hopefully we don't fail this. That'd be really bad. We got a 3. Oh, I think we failed it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not enough. We needed 12, meaning our failure action is going to go off, meaning that it is going to perform a basic action, target the attacker. This attacker gains before damage, Headhunter. So let's go ahead and look at his basic attack. His basic action is right here. It says that he is going to move to accuracy 4+ with a damage of 1. So that's terrible. He's going to go ahead and hit me. Now his speed on this is a 2, so that means he's going to roll 3 dice because he has a +1 speed token. So let's see how this goes. I think it's going to go really bad. Do I have any way to evade this? Well, I have my dodge ability. No, I don't have my dodge ability. It's in the middle of my action. What's here? It got an 8. It hit once. Let's see how it did. It's going to do me. It's going to hit me in the waist for 2 damage, and I'm going to gain 1 bleeding token. But remember, this is not the body or the waist. This is going to be right in the head. If I can find it, boom. I'm going to take 2 damage to the head and a bleeding token. So we're going to take 2 damage to the head, bringing our defense down to 2 that we have left. Hopefully we don't get hit too many more times there. So we did do 1 more wound, so we're going to take our card and place it on top of the wound stack and move into our next character's turn. We're going to move next with him. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right here, no, to right there. And then he's going to go ahead and dash, and he's going to use his Screaming Coat. It says, spend 1 speed to full move forward in a straight line. If you move 4 spaces to stop adjacent to a monster, it suffers knockback 1 and -1 toughness until the end of the round, which is awesome. Now the thing is, I also have my Screaming Antelope gear. And it says, Skewer, after you slam, spend 1 action to move 1 space and activate your melee weapon with +2 strength. If you would wound with a spear, apply that wound roll result to the next selected hit location of this attack. Okay, well, I don't have that, but I am going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to knock back him 1, which is awesome. And then I'm going to go ahead and use our Screaming Antelope gear to move 1 space and spend an action to move 1 space and activate a melee weapon with +2 strength. So we're going to go ahead and move him up and attack. Hopefully that way, if I get the trap card, it's not going to affect her. Now, of course, dashing is going to bring us down to 8 survival, which is just fine because I'm about to use another one probably after this attack if I'm still around. We're going to use our Beast Knuckles. They are paired, which means I get to roll 4 dice, and we need to get a 5+ again because he has -1 evasion. We got a total of 2 hits, which is just fine. That's actually exactly what I want. I don't want lots of hits. I just want to hit him. So we're going to go ahead and see what we found. We have found the Furious Gut wound. The Butcher is knocked down. All survivors gain +1 courage while the monster is knocked down. All reactions are canceled, and all hit rolls are succeed on a 3+. Oh, I don't want to fail that one. And the next, Death Blow. Well, this isn't going to happen, but I can at least wound him with it. So we're going to go ahead and wound him first with the Furious Scrag because, well, why not? And nothing bad about it. We're going to go ahead and see how we do. We are going to roll it up. We got a 9. That's actually a critical wound, but I think it has to be the actual death. The Butcher is shocked. This is the only Butcher hit location with a critical wound effect. Thus, the only location that can be critically wounded. You gained the Mighty Strike Fighting Art. Oh, wow. He has gained the Mighty Strike Fighting Art because he has +1 luck. That's awesome. The Mighty Strike's Fighting Art states, on a perfect hit, gain +2 strength until the end of the attack. Well, we don't have any perfect hits. That's too bad, but he does have that. That's awesome. Now we've gone ahead and hit the Furious Scrag. Now it's time to see if we can get this Furious Gut. Let's roll that 9 again. Oh, we got a 2. That's going to be a failure. 2 + 4 is 6, plus the 2 from our Screaming Coat, our Screaming Antelope gear is only 4, 8. We needed more than that. He's got 2 more strength, 9, 10, but that's still not enough. He has failed. So we're going to have to perform the basic action, target the attacker. So of course, we've seen our basic action before. He gets to roll 3 dice with this card, which is ridiculous. And he needs a 4+. And I don't have, again, any evasion on this guy, I don't think. I've got 1. All right, let's see how we do. So this one missed. He needed a 5+. He hit twice. So let's see. Now, of course, this does not target his head. Thank goodness. It's just whatever it is here. or sorry, boots. I'm thinking of Dora, boots. Nope, we're going to hit our feet and our chest. So let's go ahead and take care of those. So he's gone ahead and taken 2 damage to the legs and 2 damage to the body. And that's going to be all we're going to have to deal with. Of course, that drops him down to half his armor in both of those locations. Oh, man, that's nuts. Well, you know what time it is, don't you? Yep, it's surge time. We're going to go ahead and go to our 7 on our survival there, and we're going to try to hit him again. We need a 5+. We hit with a perfect hit, which activates our Mighty Strikes Fighting Art, which means I get +2 strength till the end of this attack, and I get to see what the next 2 hit location cards in. All right, let's see here. We have found the Butcher's Cleaver, which is impervious. The attacker's heart is frozen with dread. The attacker gains +1 insanity. Then we've got the thick cape. The Butcher's cape is decorated with the shriveled, screaming faces of its victim. If the attacker rolls a d10, if the result is greater than their courage, they suffer brain damage equal to the monster level. All right, we're going to start with the Cleaver because it really doesn't matter. It's an impervious location. It's not going to do any damage. I'm just going to gain 1 insanity. Oh, look at that. I got a critical. That's pretty funny. So we're going to go ahead and gain our +1 insanity from this, bringing our insanity up to 2. Okay, now we're going to go onto our thick cape. Let's see how that goes. We have a 7. That's going to be enough. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, easily enough to wound this location. Of course, my reflex is going to fire off. I'm going to roll a d10, and we got a 6. So it says here we get a 6, and if the result is greater than their courage, it is greater than their courage. The roll was greater than the courage that he has, which is, what, 0? Probably 0. It's 0. Then he's going to suffer brain damage equal to the monster level. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing we're going to do is gain an insanity from hitting that Butcher Cleaver. Then I'm going to take 2 insanity as well, bringing me down to 0. But I'm also going to have to deal with this. Our our infectious lunacy. When you suffer brain damage, gain a lunacy token equal to damage suffered. Okay, so I'm going to have to suffer 2 lunacy tokens. So we're going to grab our 2 lunacy tokens and place them right on that card. If he gets 1 more, he goes insane. See why I'm planning to just use this insanity, or sorry, the survival so fast? This is going to happen no matter what. So we're going to discard our hit location cards, take another wound off this top because I did 1. Now there's only 1 person left in our team to go, and that's her. She's going to go ahead and move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then at the end of her active, at the end of your act, you may move 1 space. All right, we haven't really finished our activation, so we're going to go ahead and use his survival, bringing it down to a 7 if, of course, he rolls poorly. We're going to go ahead and roll. Yep, he rolled poorly. He's going to go to 7. He's going to go to 7 survival. He's going to surge his cat eye circlet, looking at the next 3 hit location cards because we're almost out. I'm sure the trap is in here some. Oh, there it is right there. Overpower. We're going to put that at the very bottom. Let's see what these 2 do. Wound. The blow shocks the Butcher, knocking it off balance. The Butcher staggers, gaining -2 toughness until the end of the round. Where were you earlier? And let's see here. This one says the attacker locks eyes with the savage horror underneath the Butcher's mask. Turn to face the attacker and intimidate. On a roll of d10 on a 5+, the attacker suffers 1 brain damage per monster level. All right, we're going to put it back in that order. And we don't want to hit it with 3 hits. That's our plan. Now she's going to go ahead and dash 1, 2, 3, 4 to here. And then she's going to go ahead and use her action to attack. And she's going to go ahead and activate her Blood Paint, meaning with her round shield, she is going to use that action to block 1. That is what she's going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back on her board, and I'm going to go place a die with a 1 on it to remind myself that she has block 1. Now the next thing she's going to do is go ahead and use the Whistling Mace. Remember, this is our new weapon. It says on a perfect hit, reveal the next AI card, place it on top or bottom of the AI deck. Unwieldy. If the attack rolls a 1, I take 1 wound, which is pretty funny. I think that's a pretty funny card. We're going to go ahead and roll our dice. I get to roll 3. I need a 5+. Let's see how this goes. Oh no, look at that. I hit with all 3. I said not to hit with 3 attacks. All right, well, you know what happens now. It doesn't matter what the other 2 are. We're just going to go ahead and deal with our Overpower card. It says the Butcher explodes in a furious burst of ferocity. Zone of Malice is everything around him. The attacker is doomed. All survivors in the Zone of Malice gain 1 bleeding token and suffer knockback 5. Then I perform the basic action targeting the attacker. So we're going to go ahead and target, who is it? It is Kashantha. She's going to be targeted. This person is going to go ahead and roll 3. It needs a 4+, but I've got 1 evasion, so it needs a 5+, and I've got monster grease, meaning it needs a 6+. Let's see how this goes. We've got, oh wow, look at that, 3 hits. All right, I'm able to block 1 of those with our block that we had set up with our shield. But sadly, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and take a couple hits here. Let's see here. We got him in the head and the body, and I can't dodge because I'm doomed, and that's the way it goes. So Kashanth is going to take 2 damage to the body and 2 damage to the waist, bringing her defense down to 3 in those locations, which is just fine. She's doing okay. Now, of course, the problem is she's going to be taking 2 bleeding tokens. So I'm going to go ahead and put them here. 1 for the trap and then 1 for that basic action. Also, Huma should have gained a couple bleeding tokens too. I forgot to give those to him. 1 when he got attacked by the basic action, and 1 for this trap card that we just sprung. And of course, the last person is Sarah. Sarah should have also had a bleeding token from when she got hit with the basic action as well. I took the damage, but I forgot to do the bleeding tokens, and those are really important when you're fighting the Butcher, because this is one of the main ways you can die from him. He just keeps hacking and hacking and hacking and hacking, and then you bleed. Now we have to finish with our overpower card here. Now we did all the rolls, but we have to do the bottom part of here with the knockback. So we have to knock back both of these people 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there, and she gets knocked back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. Now at this point, this is when his basic attack would actually happen, because it happens down here, perform basic attack, target the attacker. So he would move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here, and he can walk over that terrain, and it's not destructible, so that is not going to be destroyed. If he would have not ran over one of these smaller pillars, that is a destructible pillar. It would be removed from the game, but that's not the case here. We're going to go ahead and shuffle this back into our hit location deck, and if we didn't draw the trap, we'll be shuffling it anyway, because of course we have the fast target in play. And it says at the beginning of each monster's turn, reshuffle the Butcher's hit location deck, and it is now the beginning of his turn, which is awesome. So I'm super excited to see what he's going to do, because of course he is a frenzied berserker, and he gets to draw 3 AI cards. Okay, let's see what our first card is. It is going to be Hugh. It's the closest threat facing. Yes, closest threat, yes, and no target menace. So of course, our closest threat is Kashanth. He's going to go ahead and attack her with Hugh. No, not the Borg. This guy is going to get Hewed. Let's see what it does. It is a speed of 1, accuracy 3, and it does 3 damage, and afterwards you gain 1 bleeding. Target gains a bleeding token. Bash, target is knocked down. Okay, this is all going to be absolutely terrible. Now, I could choose to move away from him, but I only have a 5 speed, and he'd just catch me anyway. But I think we're just going to go ahead and get Hewed and see how it goes. Now, after he picks his target, I have a survival opportunity, and I am going to use my Surge right now to bring my survival from an 8 to a 7. She used 1 of her survival last turn to dash. So she's used 1 of her survival to go ahead and activate her Blood Paint, which is going to allow her to use her shield, which I'm going to use to block, because I'm going to have a bunch of Butcher Cleavers flying at me. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Whistling Mace. So we're going to go ahead and roll these 3 dice, and I need a 5 or better. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I got a perfect hit, which means I get to look at the top AI card and decide if I want it on the top or the bottom. And it is Devour Lantern. Move and attack target for accuracy after damage. Target loses their lantern. They gain -3 accuracy token and lose all survival. If this is the last, no, we don't want that. Oh, target is doomed. Yuck, there's a lot of barf on this card. We're going to totally put this, I can put this at the bottom of the eye deck. Yeah, that's totally where it's going to go. All right, so we've moved that one to the bottom of the eye deck with that hit. But look at this. I also hit myself because of the Whistling Mace. So risk reward on that weapon. I'm going to take 1 damage to the hand, leaving me with 4 defense still in the arms. But that's okay. We've got 2 hit locations. We're going to see what we have hit. We have hit the Furious Bellow Reflex. Oh, this is one where he's going to do brain damage. I'm going to get knocked down. Don't like that one. What's this one? Furious Gut Wound. The Butcher is knocked down. All survivors gain +1 courage. While the monster is knocked down, all reactions are canceled. And oh my gosh, this is going to finish. He won't be able to attack me. Oh, I totally need to hit this. All right, we're going to go ahead and see how this goes. Oh, I got my 1 block still. I'll leave that right there. But we're going to go ahead. We need to get a big number here to take this guy down. Come on, let's see if we get him. We got, 4. That's not going to be enough. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 from herself. Do I have an 11, 12 anywhere? Do I get 2 more? No, there's no more. So instead, he only got a 10, so it's a failure. So it's going to perform its basic action, target the attacker. That's awesome. Let's see what our thing is. It is going to be 2 speed, so it's actually going to be 3 speed. We're going to go ahead and take these. And we got hit with none. He needed a 5+ because I have 2 evasion. Actually, he needed a 6+. I've got 2 evasion. So he didn't hit. We're going to go ahead and take that back. The Furious Gut is done. Now we have to do the Furious Bellow, which means I'm about to fall on the ground. All right, let's see what we do. We still miss 7. I shouldn't have done this. 7, 8, 9. We already know it's a failure. He's going to go ahead and suffer brain damage equal to the monster level, and I'm knocked down. Now, she doesn't suffer bash, but she still is going to get knocked down because that's not technically a bash. It's just you're knocked down. So she's going to go ahead and lose her 2 insanity, and she's going to gain 2 lunacy tokens for taking 2 brain damage. She's then going to get knocked down, and now, of course, sadly, the Hue attack happens. The Butcher has 1 speed, but he also has the speed token, so he's rolling 2 dice, and he got 2 4s. He needed 6s to hit, because I have 1 evasion, so that means he needed a 4+. Oh, sorry, he needed a 5+ to hit me. And then I also have my Monster Grease, which is going to give me an extra evasion, so he actually totally missed with this attack. He needed a 3+, 4+, 5+. So he needed a 5+ to hit. He has failed. Oh, that's awesome. Let's go ahead and check out what our next AI card is. Our Butcher is going to draw its next AI card, and let's see what it is. It is Double Hack. Closest threat facing. There isn't anybody facing him. Now it's the closest threat. She is not a threat. She is on the ground. So he's going to go ahead and move to the closest threat. And that would make Sarah his closest threat. He's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can't quite get there. That's absolutely awesome. So that means that this card is done. He has moved towards the closest threat, and he can't attack. That's too bad. Oh, sorry, Mr. Butcher. Let's just draw another AI card and see what you can do with us. How about kick? Closest threat facing. Well, that's going to be her. And let's see her. It's going to kick her. It's going to kick her, knock back 5, and gain the priority target token. The Butcher pursues the target, performs a basic action. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. All right, we're going to see how this goes. All right, he's going to go ahead and go 1. Then he's going to turn, and he's going to go ahead and kick her. Now, I actually might dash. I think I can dash out of here, can I? He'll pick his target, which is going to be her. So he's going to closest threat facing. That's going to be her. He's going to go ahead and pick her. I could dash like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, and he would have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he wouldn't be able to get to her, which means his turn would be over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That actually wouldn't be too bad. I think I like that plan. I can dash her out of there, and then he's going to chase her down. Now, sadly, I wouldn't be able to. I could still move up and attack. Okay, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and have him pick target. The target he picks is going to be Sarah. The closest threat facing, that's her. She's now that he's picked his target, she's going to go ahead and dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down to here. That's going to be her plan. She's going to go ahead and lose another survival, bringing her survival down to 6. Now that she's done that, this Butcher is now going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can't get to her. And that's the target, not him. So he's not going to get attacked. Kick has been resolved. We have finished this. The Butcher pursues and performs basic attack. Oh, wait a minute. I think that still happens. Oh, that does still happen. Okay, hold on a second. We might want to rethink our strategy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're still going to do this. I've got a plan, though. We're going to move a little bit different, so because it's going to go and hit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Now he's going to pursue and attack. He's going to turn and attack. There we go. That's what we're going to do. We're still going to dash out of the way, but the Butcher pursues the target and performs its basic action. So now it's going to go ahead and perform a basic action against her. And I still don't like where that ended up. I still want to end it up like that, where he would have to pursue her to there. So he would have stopped here. He would have had to move down. That's my plan. I want it so he can still at least attack him. That's the plan here. So instead, she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over there. I think this is still going to work. And that's going to be the best plan. I think that's my best plan. All right. We're going to go ahead now and get attacked by the Butcher with our basic action. I hope I moved that right. If I didn't, I apologize. His basic action is a 3 attack needing a 5+. And of course, he hit all 3 times. Wow. All right, let's see where he hit her. He hit her twice in the body and once in the waist. We're going to dodge one of these body shots, and we're going to take our survival down to 5. That's just fine. And we're going to take the other 2 as damage. So we're going to go ahead and take 2 damage to the body and 2 damage to the waist, bringing both those locations down to 1 defense each. And of course, we're going to be gaining 1 more bleeding token. We're going to put that right there. So looking back at my move, I think I did have to move him in this location because I still had to perform that basic action, which would have gone for the closest survivor in field of view, and we still wanted to go after her. That was kind of the plan. So that's the way it should go. I'm just going to leave it right where it was when we originally did it. That's going to be my plan. Now, it's going to be our turn to move against the Butcher. So we're going to move into our second turn. I'm going to try something a little risky. All of our characters have 2 bleeding tokens now, except for Tasselhoff. So he, of course, though, has the bandages, which allow us to remove up to 2 bleeding tokens from yourself or an adjacent survivor. So we're going to attempt to maybe work some of that. First, we're going to go ahead and move him right here. I think that's going to be our best plan. And he's going to go ahead and attack the Butcher with those Katars. So of course our Katars are going to go ahead and look for a 6+, but I need a 5+, and I've been forgetting that our characters actually have some accuracy on them. He actually only needs a 4+ because he does have +1 accuracy automatically. So he's got the -1 evasion token, bring it to 5. Then he's got +1 accuracy, bring it to 4, and he's in the blind spot. He needs a 3+, which this could be really good and really bad. I missed with 1. We're going to go ahead and check out our 3 hit locations. We have found the Cleaver. So again, we're just going to gain an Insanity. Then we found the Furious Shoulder. It says the Butcher spins violently, smashing everything around it. All survivors in the zone of death suffer bash and knockback 5. Well, so much for his bleeding tokens. The Butcher's cape is decorated with shriveled, screaming faces of its victim. Attacker rolls a d10. If the result is greater than the courage, they suffer brain damage equal to monster level. Oh, this could be about it. All right, we're of course going to attack this first because this doesn't really matter. We're going to go ahead and we got a 5. So we gained 1 Insanity from this card right here. That's the deal. All right, our next one is probably going to be, I think we're going to go for the Furious Shoulder. That way the thick cape doesn't actually activate. So we're going to go ahead and attack our, what is it? Fierce Shoulder. So I'm going to go ahead and roll, see if we actually wound this. This is going to be awesome. Come on, 5 + 4 is 9. Plus he gets 2, 9, 10, 11. And that's it. It's only 11. We did not actually wound this location. That's terrible. But I'm going to go ahead and get knocked back at 5 and bash, which means, of course, we cannot finish our attack. The thick cape is not going to be able to be attacked. So that's going to be the end for him. We're going to go ahead and put these back. So suffering knockback 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bash. He is going to be falling on the ground. That's fine. We're going to go ahead into our next turn. I'm going to go ahead and have her move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into the blind spot, and she again is going to attempt to hit with that dagger. So she's going to go ahead and attack their Cat Fang Knife. Now she of course gets 4 attacks, which needs a 6+, which is a 5+, which she of course has +1 accuracy as well, so it's a 4+, and in the blind spot is a 3+. Let's see how we do. We hit with all 4, which can be really bad or really good. We're about to find out. So we're going to go ahead and take our 4 hit locations, and we have found, oh, I found another Cleaver. Oh, that reminds me, I've got to give +1 Insanity to Huma. All right, and what else did we find? We found the Furious Scrag, which is a death blow, which means nothing's going to happen, or we can crit it, but it's not going to give us an end because he's still there. Failure. The attacker locks eyes with the savage horror underneath the Butcher's mask. Turn to face the attacker and intimidate. Roll a d5, or d10, sorry. On a result of 5+, the attacker suffers 1 brain damage per monster level. That's the Furious Gauntlet. We made the Furious Embrace, which means we did not get the trap. Failure. The Butcher lashes out at the attacker's face, striking with the back of his hand. Perform basic action, target the attacker, and the attack gains before damage Head Hunter. All right, so we got a lot of fun things to deal with. Let's go ahead and put them in the right order. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Cleaver. That's going to be our first one. It really doesn't matter. It's impervious. We got an 8, which would have been fantastic against other things. We're going to gain 1 Insanity from that card. Next, we're going to go against the Furious Scrag. Let's see how we do. We got a 2. Oh no, this could be bad. 2 + 2 is 4. +2 from our card is what? 6, 2, 4, 6. And then we get 7, 8 for our monster necklace. 9, 10 from who we are is what we are, but sadly that is it. 10, we did not actually wound this, but there's no issues if you don't wound it. Now we're going to go ahead and try some of these other ones and see how we do. We're going to the Furious Gauntlet. We got a 4. All right, let's add this up again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a wound. We're going to go ahead and take that one so the failure doesn't happen. And our last one is the Furious Embrace. I threw that out the dice chart. And we got an 8. That's awesome. That is also a wound. So we wounded him twice and missed twice, but we didn't get any repercussions at all. Now she does go ahead and gain an Insanity, which is going to be really good. So she's going to be at 2 right now. And also we have Huma. He's also going to be at 1 Insanity. And here's Huma. We're going to go ahead and give him 1 Insanity. Now, I also think I forgot to give him the 3 Insanity on arrival from our Screaming Leg Warmers. I get on arrival, your feet hurt, gain +3 Insanity. So he actually, I think, has 4 Insanity. I may have done that wrong. We're also going to go ahead and take 2 wounds off the top here, and that means we're slowly whittling him down. Now at this point, Tasseloff is going to go, he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 to right here. And at this point, he is going to use his bandages, which he can spend his action to remove 2 bleeding tokens from yourself or an adjacent survivor. We're going to do it for her. So that means she's going to go ahead and lose both of her bleeding tokens that she has. Now we're going to go ahead and move into Kashanth's turn. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right there. And she's going to spend her action to block. She's going to use her leather shield to block. So we're going to go ahead and put our die on that to try to remind us. Now she's going to go ahead and dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right there. And now he's going to go ahead and surge, bringing his survival down to 6, unless, of course, I roll a 6+, which I did not. I rolled a 5, so he's going to go to 6. What is it? Survival, that's fine. But now he's going to use his bandages as well on Kashanth. So she's going to lose her 2 bleeding tokens. This is actually going really well. We're getting rid of some bleeding tokens. She's going to go ahead and attack now after she's going to surge and attack with that shield and whip. Or maybe I should attack with her. She actually attacks better. We're going to go with her. She hasn't had a chance to hit yet. She's going to go with her shield and her sword and see how she does. And of course, by sword, I mean she attacks with her whip, which is fine. It just is a sword on the model. I've got to get some new models made pretty soon. We're going to go ahead and attack. The first one we're going to do is our leather shield. Now, we've already blocked with this, so I'm going to go ahead and give it an attack. What the heck? Let's see how it goes here. Oh, we actually hit with that. That's awesome. So let's see how we do. We are going to hit the Butcher's Mask. Wound. The blow shocks the Butcher, knocking it off balance. The Butcher staggers, gaining -2 toughness till the end of the round. Otherwise, failure. The Butcher effortlessly shoves the attacker away, full move toward the attacker. If the Butcher ends its movement adjacent to the attacker, they suffer knockback 5. Oh, that's terrible. All right. So I think she's going to be knocked back. All right. See how this goes here. I'm going to roll my die and see how much we get. We got a 4, which is not going to be anywhere close because I only get +1. 4, 5. And then what else does she get? 6, 7, I think. From her action, 7, 8, she actually has +3, but that's about it. She doesn't get anything extra. So she has failed. He's going to go ahead and push her 5 squares. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because this guy is going to have pushed her. If we look at the card, it says the Butcher effortlessly shoves the attacker away. Full move towards the attacker. Well, he's already right next to her. If the Butcher ends its movement adjacent to the attacker, they suffer knockback 5. So he was able to push her that way, which is terrible. Now, of course, I still have some more survival. I think we're going to go ahead and use Sarah's. Sarah's going to go ahead and go down to 4 survival, and she's going to surge her knife. Now, of course, I had to use 2 survival with her, so she's down to 5 as well because she had to dash and she had to surge. Now we're going to go ahead and attack with her. Let's see how she does. All right, she's going to go ahead and attack with that knife, and I'll tell you right now, I don't want her to hit too many times because there's only 5 cards left. One of these is the trap, so here we go. We're going to roll our 4 dice and see how we do. I need to get a, 4 or better? 6, 5. 5 or 4 or better. Here we go. Let's see how we do. We hit with 2, so that means we don't have to activate the trap. Let's see how it goes, because of course there are 5 cards left. We have found the Furious Crown Reflex. The Butcher lashes out wildly, clearing a path for itself. All survivors adjacent suffer bash. Full move towards the furthest survivor. Oh, wow. Okay. And our last one is Armored Pig Shoulder. Super dense. If the attacker attempts to wound this location with a frail weapon, it is destroyed. Okay, that's not going to happen. We're going to go ahead and attempt to hit with our knife here against this Armored Pig Shoulder here. We got a 7. We know that's enough for a wound. So we have wounded with that one. Now let's see how we do on this one. We're going to go ahead and roll. We got a 6. That's also wounds. We have wounded 2 more times with her, which is awesome. But now he's going to suffer bash and move towards the farthest survivor. All right. That's 2 more wounds with our MVP. She's got that dagger. It's awesome. And we're going to go ahead and see where he moves. So all adjacent survivors suffer bash, which means these 2 are knocked over. And he's going to move towards the closest survivor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going right up there because that's who I want him to have him attack. All right. That's the end of our turn. We don't have anything else we can do about this. It is his turn. He gets to draw 3 cards. But first, we're going to go ahead and take care of Fast Target. At the beginning of each monster's turn, shuffle the Butler's Hit Location deck. I'm glad we get to shuffle that because one of these is the trap. We don't know which one. So we're going to give this a good old shuffle. We're going to put it back down and see what happens to our brave survivors. Now, of course, this creature gets to draw 3 AI cards because of his Frenzied Berserker. Draw 2 +2 AI every turn. All right, our first AI card is Bite. Closest threat facing, well, we already got that. Closest threat, Menace. All right, so it's going to be targeting Kashanth. We're going to go ahead and move an attack. 2 speed, 4 accuracy, but of course it's going to be 3 speed after a hit. Target suffers 1 random severe head injury. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. All right, we're going to go ahead and see how that goes. I have deemed Bite a very bad card. We get 2 speed for it normally, but he also gets a +1 speed token. So he's going to go ahead and roll. Now he needs a 4+ to hit. She has monster greed. She's given it a 5+, and she also has 1 evasion, so he needs a 6+. Let's see how he does. He hit with only 1, and because of our round shield, we had that die on there for our block. We're able to block 1 attack hit. We're going to block that hit. So we're just going to go ahead and see what his next AI card is from right here. He found Hack. Closest threat facing, well, we already know who that is. 2 speed, 4 accuracy. After damage, bleed. Target gains 1 bleeding token. All right, this is our next attack that he's going to make. He gets, of course, like I said, 2 speed, but 1 more because of his token, and he needs a 6+. Let's see how he does. He hit twice. This time, I'm out of luck. I don't have anything else I can do except I could dodge one of these. This isn't too bad. I'm just going to gain a bleeding token. I'm okay with that. We're going to go ahead and roll 2 dice, see what happens to her. She's going to get hit in the waist and the feet for 2 damage. I'm going to go ahead and remember that by putting them right here. We're going to draw our next AI card, and if it's just going to attack her, we'll continue the attack. Otherwise, we'll have to deal with all the things that have happened so far. We have another hack. So, all right, same thing. We're going to roll our 3 dice, needing a 6+. Let's see how we do. He only hit once. At this point now, Kashanth is going to go ahead and spend 1 of her survival to dodge. She's going to go to 4 survival. That's totally fine. She's only taken 2 damage to the feet and the waist, and she gains 1 bleeding token. Kashanth is going to gain a bleeding token, and she's going to lose 2 to her waist and 2 to her legs, bringing her to 1 and 3 respectively, and that's just fine. Our characters are still doing okay, and then we're going to go on to our turn now. The butcher is gone. We're moving into round 3 with our characters. We're going to go ahead and stand everybody up because the monster has activated. And now we're going to go ahead and start. I think we're going to start with him. I've got a plan. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right there. And now he's going to dash. Now he does have an action right there, but I don't think there's really much he can do. He could use his screaming horns. Non-deaf insane survivors gain +1 move until the end of the round, and all other survivors gain +1 insanity. Let's go ahead and do that. He's going to activate his screaming horns, giving everybody some insanity. Now that is going to give everybody 1 insanity. Tassoff is up to 3. We have Sarah at 2. No, she's at 3 as well. It's Kashanth. Kashanth's only at 1. Now we're going to go ahead and dash with him. 1, 2. Actually, what he's going to do is he's going to activate his screaming coat, which states, spend a move action to fully move forward in a straight line. If you move 4+ spaces, stop adjacent to the monster and suffer knockback. It suffers knockback 1 and -1 toughness till the end of the turn. And you bet it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's getting right up there. I'm going to go ahead and knock him that way 1 square. And he's going to gain a -1 toughness till the end of the turn. That's awesome. Now, of course, we do have our Screaming Antelope armor that after you slam, spend an action to move 1 space and activate a melee weapon with +2 strength. If you wound with a spear, apply that wound roll result to the next selected hit location this action. All right, so I have to resolve this a little bit differently. I can't dash and then surge to make this happen. This all has to happen in 1 action. It has to be his normal action. So to move up here, I would have had to dash. Then we're going to go ahead and spend his real action to move and slam into him, meaning I'm not going to be able to use that screaming horns. So I'm going to take the insanity away from all of those characters. But at this point, he can now attack with his melee weapons at +2 strength. So we're going to attack with those beast knuckles. We'll roll up our 4 dice and see how we do. I think we hit with all of them. We have a 6+ to hit, plus he has +1 accuracy for a 5+, and he has -1 accuracy token, which is a 4+. So all of our hits hit, which is always a good and bad thing at the same time. We're going to take our 4 hit locations and see what has happened. We have found the Furious Bellow. The Butcher unleashes a deep guttural roar. Unless the attacker is deaf or has 3+ courage, they suffer brain damage equal to the monster's level and are knocked down. Awesome. Furious Gut. The Butcher's knocked down. All survivors gain +1 courage. Oh, I need to do this one first. All right. Failure. The Butcher bites him or hits him in the head with his hand. All right. The last one. Furious Gauntlet. Turn to face the attacker. Okay, we need to do this one first. We need to knock this guy down. If we can knock him down, all those reactions are not going to happen, which is going to be awesome. So let's go ahead and roll our die and see how we do. Oh, we got a 1. Oh no, we totally failed on that one. Wow, the one we really needed. Okay, that's too bad. So now what's going to happen is perform the basic action, target the attacker. So we're going to go ahead and grab our basic action card. He's going to attack at a 2 speed with a 4+ to hit, so he gets to roll 3 dice. So let's see how he does. He hits with 2 of them. Oh, he needs a 4+, but you think he have +1 evasion. I do. So that missed as well. So I only got hit with 1. So we're going to see how much damage that does to us. It's going to do 2 because I have damage and he has a damage token. So we're going to go ahead and see where it hits us. It hit us in the hands, which means our brave Huma is down to 2 armor left in his hands. And of course, he has to take another bleeding token. He's up to 3 bleeding tokens. We have to get Tasselhoff over to him pronto. That's going to be the plan. All right, we have finished that. We're going to continue going. Now I have to figure out which one to go for. I was hoping these all would not take effect. All right, we're going to put them in this order. I'm going to go with the failure ones first so that we can hopefully just do, let's not roll once. That'd be the best plan here. We got an 8, so 8 is a wound because he gets 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus he gets the +2, 12, 14, 15, 16. That's an absolute massive hit. Our next one is the Furious Gauntlet. Let's see how we do on that one. We got a 5, +4 is 9, +2, 9, 10, 11, +2 is enough to wound. So we've done 2 wounds. And our last one, our Furious Bellow. Our Furious Bellow got a 9. Now that's a critical hit, but there is nothing here that's saying that I'm going to do anything on a critical hit. So the critical hit doesn't happen, but the wound still takes place. And of course, we have to take care of the reflex, which the attacker is not deaf, and I don't have 3 courage, so they're going to suffer 2 brain damage. And he's also going to be knocked down. So let's go ahead and take care of all of that. So we're going to start with Huma. He is going to take 2 damage to his brain, bringing his insanity down to 2. And of course, that means he's going to be gaining, at his third, he would be gaining 4 lunacy tokens, which means he is now has the frenzy brain trauma. So I'm going to be able to gain D5 Insanity from our Frenzy Brain Trauma. Also, I get a +1 speed token and a +1 strength token, which are always awesome. I ignore slow on my melee weapons, but of course that's not going to help because I don't have slow. You may not spend survival. That's the key right here. You may not use fighting arts. You may not use weapon specialization or weapon mastery and can be gained multiple times, lasts until the end of the showdown. So from now on, I can't use any survival. I get D5 Insanity and a speed and a strength token. So I gain a +1 speed, +1 strength, and I also get to roll D5 Insanity. I got a 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, so he gets, 3 Insanity. All right, so he's up to 5. So he's got 5 Insanity, can't use any survival. Now, he should have used a couple survival, so he should be down to, I believe he's down to 5. I think he dashed. No, he only dashed. That's all he did. So he's going to go to 6. There we go. That's what he's at. Now, he doesn't lose his survival. He just can't use it anymore. So we're sitting with 5 Insanity and some extra tokens. Let's see how that goes for us. Now, of course, the good news is I did do 2 wounds. So we're going to take these 2 wounds. Now, of course, he still has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds left that we have to deal with. We are going to continue this fight. We're going to move 1, 2, 3 with Tasselhoff, and from there, he's going to dash to there, so he's going to go ahead and see if he keeps that survival. He did not. He goes to 5 survival, which is just fine, because now he's going to surge and see if he can keep that survival. He does, so he stays at 5 survival, and at this point, he's going to use his bandages on Huma to go ahead and heal both of those bleeding tokens. Huma still has 1 left, but he's doing a little better than he was. Now, of course, since I dashed and I surged, that means I'm allowed to use my catgut bow because it's cumbersome, which means I have to spend both my movement and my action to attack. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can shoot our butcher. So we're going to go ahead and roll a couple dice. If you haven't noticed, I haven't been using that cat eye circlet. This really, to me, isn't a fight that needs it. There is that 1 trap card, but just pounding this butcher as fast as you can seems to be the best way to do it. So we're going to go ahead and try to hit him. He's got a 7+ here to hit, but he also gets -1 evasion. So he has a 6+ to hit, and I get +2 accuracy from Tasselhoff, so I need a 6, 5, 4+ to hit. Let's see how we do. We hit 1 time with a perfect hit, which for him does absolutely nothing. We're going to go ahead and see where we hit him. We hit him in the Furious Shoulder. Reflex, the butcher spins violently, smashing everything around it. I'm going to get knocked back and bashed again. Here we go. Let's see how much damage we can do to this thing. We're going to go ahead and roll our die, and we got, a 2. Here I thought he was actually going to do something to him. Thought he might gain a weapon proficiency, but all is lost. He has not gotten any of that. Then he is going to be flying all over the place. So he had 1 shot of that catgut bow. I thought he was actually going to do something, but he did not. Instead, he's going to be knocked back 5 along with him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they suffer bash. Bonk and bonk. There they go. Both of them laying on the ground. Perfect. All right, we got 2 survivors left. 1 is right here. That's Sarah. And of course, we have Kashanth. I think Sarah's going to go next. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right to there. Or maybe she might go 1, 2, 3, no, 4 or 5. We're totally fine. This is gonna. I was thinking about pouncing, but I don't need to do that. She has so much strength. I don't think it matters too much. And his accurate defense isn't too hard to hit with that knife. So we're going to go ahead and roll up our Cat Fang knife. I need a 6+, but there's going to be a little bit better than that. These 2s, I think, are still going to miss. 6, 5, 4, 3. I needed a 3 plus. Those two still missed, I think. She gets +1 accuracy. So that goes from a 6 to a 5. He has a -1 evasion token to a 4. And of course, we're in the blind spot, so it's a 3. Yes, the 2s miss. But these two do not, and one of them is a perfect hit. So I'm going to gain a +1 strength token. Now, do I really need that? Not really, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it because you never know. If I missed it by 1 to actually wound this guy, I'd be pretty sad. So we got our tokens there, and we're going to go ahead and see where we hit him. We have our 2 locations. We have hit him in the cleaver, which is going to give us a 2 cleavers. Wow. So apparently, I went running in there, and apparently he decided to put both his cleavers behind his back, and I clanged into both of them. So these attacks don't really matter. Again, there's a critical hit. That'd be awesome, but it doesn't matter. But I am going to gain 2 insanity for that attack, bringing Sarah's insanity up to 4. I am going to have Kashanth go next. She's going to go ahead and move over 1 and go ahead and attack him. So she's going to go ahead and use her round shield with the blood paint and the whistling mace. We're going to actually attack with the round shield. I've got a plan. Let's see how it works. It did not work very well. He got a 5, 8. She has +1 accuracy, so that's 6, and he's got a -1. Oh, it did hit 5. That's amazing. 8, 7. No, I needed a 6. I needed a 6. This thing totally missed. Now, of course, we're going to go with our whistling mace. Let's see how that goes. I'm going to roll my 3 dice and see how we go. We got a critical hit. That's awesome. Perfect hit. And then we hit with all 3. Now on a perfect hit, reveal the next AI card and see if you want to keep it on top or put it on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle his AI deck because we have no AI deck to deal with right now. So we're going to shuffle this up and we're going to see what the top one is. It is Kick. Putting that, should I put that on the bottom or should I put it on top? Let's see here. The target suffers knockback 5 and gains a priority target. The butcher pursues the attack and performs a basic action. That's a tough one. I think we're going to go ahead and put it on the bottom. We're going to put that one on the bottom and leave the rest up on top. And now we get to go ahead and see what 3 locations we have hit. We have hit the Furious Crown, the Armored Pig Shoulder, and the Furious Scrag. Okay, we've seen all these. Now, sadly, this is not going to be a death blow again. But we've got, which one's this? This one is the Butcher lashes out wildly, clearing a path for itself. All adjacent survivors suffer bash. Not that bad of a deal. We're going to go ahead and do them in this order. So we're going to start with our Armored Pig Shoulder. We're going to see how we do. We got a 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 2 is 9, 10, 11. She has +3, so that's 11. And he has -1 toughness for this turn, thanks to our Screaming Armor that we hit with. It says right down here, +1. Oh, no, it's not this one. I'm sorry. It's the Screaming Coat that it talks about it. It has -1 toughness until the end of this round. This is still the same round, so I did wound it. And I may have forgotten that on another couple of hits. I'm not exactly sure. So we get 3, 4, 5 is 8, 9, 10, 11. That's enough to wound him. This wounded our Butcher. So we're going to go ahead with our Death Blow card, which sadly, oh, look, a critical hit. Let's see what it says down here. It says critical hit. The Butcher is shocked. This is the only critical hit. You may gain the Mighty Strikes Fighting Art. I totally will gain that. So that's another wound. I have 2 characters now that have gained the Mighty Strikes Fighting Art. Next is our Reflex. We're going to go ahead and deal with this. We got another critical hit, but sadly it's not going to be a critical hit because there's nothing down there. But we also hit with this. Now, of course, we do have to all suffer bash, and that's going to be the deal. So we wounded with all 3 of our cards. We're going to take the top 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I kind of wish I would have taken Whip as my weapon proficiency as opposed to Shield, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and take care of this Reflex card now. So here's how this is going to work. It's going to be really weird. I'm going to go ahead, and it says here, the Butcher lashes out wildly, clearing a path for itself. All survivors adjacent suffer bash. This is a reflex. I am allowed to use a survival action before this reflex takes effect. So I'm actually going to surge with her to attack with that knife. Once that happens, and we finish everything that has to do with this, she will be knocked down. So I'm just going to knock her down right now, even though there might be more that happens based on her attack. She does not suffer bash because she has her shield. I believe that means that, oh, sorry, it's the leather armor. It says you ignore bash. So she's not going to get knocked down. But of course, then he's going to move this way over to where our downed survivors are because they're the farthest ones away. So let's see how her attack goes. So we're going to gain our Cat Fang knife. I get to roll 4 dice in my attack. Let's see how this goes. I got a miss here, but I hit 3 times. That's awesome. We're going to go ahead and see what we got. Now we're running low on hit locations, so we might find the trap pretty soon. We have found Thick Cape, Furious Greaves, and a Ferocious Breastplate. Yes, we did not find anything. +2, wound this location, and last one. Butcher's Cape is Decorate Reflex. After attacker rolls a D10, suffers brain damage. Okay, that's going to be terrible. full move toward the attacker. All right, this one's first. The Furious Graves, I'm already right next to him, not a big deal. Then we're going to do this one, and then I think we're going to do this one. Plus the Lantern Explosion. If the roll to wound this location is a Lantern 10, your attack shatters one of the trophy lanterns hanging on the butcher's chest, causing a wailing explosion that sears your corneas. The attacker is knocked down and suffers the blind severe injury. Remove a miniature from the dreaded trophies. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. All right, yeah, that one's going to go last. We're going to see how this all goes. We're going to go ahead and start with our Furious Greaves. We're going to go ahead and wound that. We did. We got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then he also gets 11, 12. He gets 4 from the roll, 2 from the knife, 2 from our cat fang necklace, so that's 2, 4, 8, 9, 10 from our white lion armor, and she has 2 innate strength, so that's a 12. This is a wound. The next one we're going to roll is our thick cape. Let's see how that goes. We got another wound. So we've wounded him there. Now, of course, I do have to, what is it? The attacker rolls a d10 if the result is greater than the courage. This suffers brain damage equal to monster level. That's fine. Roll up our courage. Yep, what do you know? That's way more than our courage because our courage is 0. We have no courage. So she's going to take 2 brain damage, meaning she's also going to gain her first 2 lunacy tokens and go down to 2 insanity. We have only 1 left, and that's the Furious Breastplate. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I missed completely. All right, so that was a miss, but these 2 are wounds. Now at this point, he's going to take 2 wounds, which is just fine. He has only 1 left, and I know exactly what card that is. That's Kick. So it's not that big a deal. It's one that I don't think is really going to do too much damage. So with that complete, our reflex is now going to take effect, which means she is going to suffer Bash. Now, she also had to surge in order to do that, and I accidentally just knocked the die over. So I wasn't sure if she had a 5 or a 4 survival. I'm just going to turn it to a 3. That's where our survival is going to be for her. I could be wrong. It could be a 4. Not the end of the world. He's now going to go ahead and move forward towards the farthest survivor. So he's going to go ahead and move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because these guys are the farthest survivors. Now he's going to go ahead and activate, which means he's going to draw 3 AI cards, and the only AI card I have is Kick. Oh, man. And I don't think there's anything I can do. I can't remember if he surged or not to attack. If not, I would have probably used her to encourage, stand him up and attack, but I can't remember. And I know he fired his bow, so that's all he can do. We're just going to go ahead and attack. We're first going to start off by doing our fast targets. We're going to reshuffle our hit location deck, which we only had 2 cards in, meaning our trap was one of the last 2 cards. We're going to mix them in there. We're going to go ahead and truffle shuffle this right back up again and see how it goes. We're going to take all these cards, mix them up, and we're going to go ahead now and attack with Kick. We're going to kick 3 times because we're going to draw an AI card. Here's our AI card, Kick. Closest threat facing. There isn't a threat. These 2 are on the ground. So then he's going to move to the closest threat. Well, the only threat on the board is her. So he's going to turn and go 1, 2, 3, 4 to right there. And he's going to go ahead and kick. Move and attack the target. Speed 3, accuracy 4, damage 2. After damage, target suffers knockback 5 and gains the priority target token. Then his Butcher pursues the target and performs a basic action. Wow. Maybe this was not the best one to put at the bottom. My fault. 3 speed. He needs to get a 6+. He hit only once, but we are going to take 1 damage or 2 damage to the body. Now, I could choose to dodge this if I wanted to, but I think it's okay. We're just going to go ahead and take 2 damage to the body. Now that leaves her with only 1 defense left in the body. At this point, I'm going to be knocked back 5 and gain the priority target token. The Butcher then is going to pursue me and do a basic action. We're just going to do the basic action right here, and then we're going to go ahead and move them on the board. So his basic action is going to be 3 dice, needing a 6+ again. Let's see how this goes. He hit me only once. Now at this point, I am going to use one of my survival to dodge, bringing her survival down to 3, and that's just fine. So this did not hit, which means I don't take any damage, which means I am not going to gain a bleeding token. Now let's go resolve the knockback. So Kashant is going to be knocked back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. He pursues 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. At this point, he would do his basic action. Now, he's going to go ahead and draw his next AI card, which is going to be, yep, you guessed it, it's Kick again. It says closest threat facing. Of course, that is going to be her. And now it says move and attack the target. Now, after it has picked its target, I have a survival opportunity right here. And you bet I'm going to use that survival opportunity. I am totally going to surge to attempt to hit this guy. So with the blood paint in hand, I am going to surge and use both my round shield and my whistling mace. The round shield we are going to use to block. I'm just going to go ahead and block with hit. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit with the whistling mace. I get 3 dice. Let's see how this goes. I got a 2, 2, 4, 4. Oh no, I don't think either of those are going to hit. I need a 6 plus. She has +1 evasion, so that's a 5 plus. Oh, plus he has a negative evasion token, so that's a 4 plus. I do hit with 2 hits. Let's see what happens. I can hit the Furious Grievous, okay, or Furious Greaves, and the Thick Cape. The attacker rolls. Okay, we're going to go for the Greaves first. We have to try to wound these. Come on, let's get this guy. I got a 4, plus 3 is 7, plus 8, 9, 10. That's it. I did not get any other damage for this or any other strength. So it's still sitting here with his, oh, it's just going to be bad. So this thing is going to go ahead and full move toward the attacker. Don't move, you're already there. I'm already there. We're going to go for the Butcher's Cape. I have to hit this because I need to get rid of that AI card. This kick is driving me crazy. All right, we got a 5. Maybe that might be enough. 5, 6, 7, 8. Then she's got +3 strength. 9, 10, 11. Oh, I bet everybody that does math better than me already knew that was going to happen. I only have 11. And of course, since it's a new round, that Screaming Coat is not active anymore. It no longer has the -1 toughness because this is a new round. So since I did not wound, I'm going to keep my block die right there. But I'm going to remove all these and we're going to go ahead and get kicked. Here we go. It's time to get kicked. I'm going to go ahead and roll 3 dice. Let's see how it goes. He got an 8 and 2 2s. The 2 2s miss, and I could choose to block this if I want to. Now, sadly, I don't believe I can hold the block until the next thing. I think it says that I have to use it on the next hit. So this is going to get blocked. We're then going to go into our basic action. And of course, I'm going to get knocked back 5. We'll deal with that after I do this basic action here. We're going to go ahead and roll our dice. And it hit me 1 time is all it hit me. We're going to go ahead and roll where it hits. It hit me right in the head. So I'm going to take 2 damage to the head, and I'm going to take my second bleeding token. So Kashanth is taking that bleeding token and is now going to be at 3 armor left in the head. We're now going to knock her back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 to there. And he's going to move up 1, 2, 3, 4. Now he would have performed his basic action. We're going to draw our 3rd AI card. You'll never guess what it is. Oh man, it's just amazing. We get kicked again. So with his +1 speed token, again, rolling 3 dice, let's see how he does. He hit me twice this time with this. So he's going to go ahead and do 2 damage to 2 different locations. Let's see what locations those are. He has hit the body and he has also hit our waist. Our body and waist are actually going to be in the light section now because apparently that's the one place he loves to hit people is the body and the waist. That's awesome. Normally he likes to hit people in the legs. And again, we're going to deal with the knockback after I get hit with this basic action. So we're going to roll our 3 dice, see how it goes. He got an 8. Oh my goodness, he hit all 3 times now. Wow, he's been warming up for this the entire battle. Let's see how this goes. Hit me in the waist and the body. Oh no, those are both going to be serious wounds. And then he also hit me in the leg. Well, there's the legs. Awesome, there's the legs. Now I've already used the dodge this turn, so I can't actually dodge this. This is going to be absolutely devastating. So getting hit in the legs means I'm going to go down to 1, but of course the body and the waist is bad news. I am going to take 1 damage, so each of these bring me to heavy, and then I'm going to take 1 additional damage, meaning I'm going to have to roll on the result table for the body and the waist. Both of these are going to be bad. I don't like the tables, the table of death and destruction. Now, if for some bizarre reason we're able to survive those things, we do actually get a bleeding token as well for that basic action. Now, this could be a mute point, but we're going to go ahead and knock her back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right here. He's going to go ahead and follow to right there. Now, she's also now going to be hit by that basic action, which is now where she would be knocked down from those serious wounds that she's going to have to take. Now, we're also going to see if she's going to be here in the next turn. So we have to roll on the table twice, once for our body and once for our waist. So our body roll is a 3 and our waist roll is a 7. Let's go ahead and check those out. I'm a little worried about that 3. And just as I thought, it says bleeding, gain 2 bleeding tokens. And of course, those are going to go with our other 3 bleeding tokens, means she has 5 bleeding tokens and she is dead. But if that didn't kill her enough, let's go see what the waist did. And if the butcher hasn't slaughtered her enough, she also has a broken hip. Your hip is dislocated, you can no longer dodge. She suffers -1 permanent movement, doesn't really matter. And this injury is permanent and can only be recorded once. And let's go ahead and give her yet another bleeding token. Yeah, she's rocking the bleeding tokens. And since he went ahead and killed Kashanth, we're going to deal with our dreaded trophies. It says when a survivor dies, place their miniature on this card. The monster gains the following bonus for each miniature on the dreaded trophy. He has 1. So now all attack profiles gain After damage, bleed 1. So he's always going to be causing bleeding. I'm going to go ahead and put our character right there. Oh, so sorry, Kashanth, you did not make it. He's so far away from all our guys, but I do get to stand them all up. That's awesome. And now she gets to stand up as well. She's going to dash is her first action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, because I want to pounce. 6. She can move right there. I've got my pounce ability that I can go ahead and activate with my white lion coat. It says spend your movement and your action to move 3 spaces in a straight line, and then I get some extra bonuses. So we're going to go ahead and tick her survival down to 2. We're at 2, and that's it for her survival. But that's okay. She's almost gone frenzy anyway. We're going to go ahead and move him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right there. And at this point, he's going to go ahead and use the cat eye circlet. I need to know what these hit location cards are, because if it's a trap, we're in big trouble. I'm going to go ahead and look at them. 1, 2, 3. Let's see what we found. We found the Furious Shoulder, Furious Crown, and a Furious Breastplate. Okay, and I can put these back in any order. So we're going to go ahead and put them back in this order. I'm going to deal with the Furious Breastplate first, then the Furious Crown, and lastly the Furious Shoulder. And she's going to go ahead and pounce now, meaning she can move 3, 1, 2, 3, and she's going to be adjacent to this monster, which means now she gets a lot of extra bonuses. She's going to gain, I believe it's extra strength or something. 3 spaces and activate a melee weapon with +1 strength. So if it's not like I didn't need it, I got even more strength. So we're going to go ahead and roll our cat fang knife, meaning I get 4 dice. Let's see how this goes. Well, I missed with 1, but I got a perfect hit, meaning I'm going to gain a +1 strength token. Now, I lost the other +1 strength token when you get knocked down. It says on the cat fang knife, when knocked down, remove all your +1 strength tokens. So I lost the +1 strength token at that time. So I'm going to gain another +1 strength one, a new +1 strength token. Now we know what all 3 of these locations are, so we're just going to go ahead and put them right in the order in which I want to deal with them. We're going to put them right like that. There we go. Now this one is +2 toughness to the location, so I need a little bit bigger number here to hit. And that 9 is perfect. So that is a wound. Thank goodness it was not a Lantern 10, or I'd been blind. That'd been terrible. Now we're going to go ahead and see how we do on the reflex one. I got a 6, which is enough to wound him again. So that's 2 wounds. And according to what we have left, all we have is the kick and our basic action, so that's enough. She was able to take out the Butcher, even though it kicked Kashanth into next week. And since we defeated the Butcher, we get to go on to our victory. It says right here, the Butcher is an inspiration. Any victorious survivor may immediately select Axe weapon proficiency regardless of age milestones. Any accrued ranks and weapon proficiency are lost when switching to the new weapon type. Now we do get to gain 1 Hunt XP, and we also get +1 weapon proficiency level. And then we also get to gain rewards. And our rewards are to be able to roll a d10 and add the Butcher's level to the result. The group gains any listed resources or gear. Add them to the settlement storage. So we're going to go ahead and roll a d10. I'm going to attempt to do it right here on the book. We got an 8 + 2 is 10. And 10 is the Butcher's Cleaver again. We got our Butcher's Cleaver back. It's a rare gear. And we also get D5 Broken Lantern resources and a hunk of living flesh used to regrow 1 dismembered limb right now. I don't think we have any dismembered limbs on any of our cards. Of course, we've gotten a completely dismembered miniature here. She got absolutely worked, but that's okay. She doesn't get to come back. We are going to roll our D10 and see how many Broken Lanterns we get. We got 1. We got 1 Broken Lantern, but I can't complain because we also get the Butcher Cleaver. We were able to take down a level 2 Butcher. Of course, we lost Kashanth to bleeding. She got hacked to pieces by those Butcher's Cleavers, which we happen to gain. And we'll look at that in the next video. Along with their Hunt XP, we'll take care of that in the next video as well. But this video is awesome. I really like fighting against the Butcher. He's a lot of fun. He's a really fun character. And I'm a really big fan of his frenzied Berserker, where he used to keep on going. I think that's really cool and very thematic of a frenzied character coming into battle you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so when the next video comes out, you're there and ready to experience it. It's going to be our settlement. We're going to go ahead and see what we're going to fight next. It's going to be awesome. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everybody. I'm so excited to continue playing this. This is such a fun game. Again, thank you so much for watching. And if you're excited to see our settlement video, then I need you to meet me at the table.